Hi guys, hi family. So I just want to give a information. So the Danites, or the Dan tribe of Dan, are their symbol is the serpent, and they are not part of the 144,000, like I said in a previous video, who bring the true gospel, Christ and Him crucified. They bring faith plus works, the false Christs do. Like the Catholic Church or many other churches. They say they're about grace only, but then they bring works of the law, works of men's tradition, church tradition, instead of work by the Spirit. It's man. They're doing man's interpretation of the Bible instead of God's interpretation by His Spirit of truth. And anyway, so I wanted to say also that the on eagle's wings is God who brings up His people by His angels. As far as, because even though He was far from this place, He sends Him to come and get us. The Dan is not part of that 144,000 because of their idolatry. And they're listening to Satan, like Adam and Eve. Hearken to the voice of Satan rather than the voice of God. And did, listen to him. God says that life is in His Son. He doesn't say it's in anyone else. The eagle that we see everywhere is not what we think. It's not the same eagle as the eagle on that God describes that He will pull us up on eagle's wings. They're two different. And in fact, they're not the eagle that we're seeing everywhere is really the Roman Greece little horn beast. The little horn beast claims to be Christian. Okay, so it comes from Greece and Rome. Rome is the last empire on earth before Jesus comes, and they have been in control for a while. They had an injury. They had an injury to one of their eyes, and if you look at the Masons, just Google people punching their right eyes or whatever, or they have black eyes. All of these Masons, Jesuits, Shriners, fraternities think they have to kill one side of their brain in order for the other side of the brain to work and the good to prevail. It is deception from the enemy. It's the serpent, or not, it's the dragon's deception. The Antichrist spirit that is in them or with them. I guess I would say. Maybe some of them are really the angels in a body, in a strange flesh, or maybe they're demonically possessed. And they're deceiving all of the, not all, but many of the people who have been grafted into Israel, God's church, which God's house is one house, one vine, Jesus, one way into the kingdom, Jesus. And we're either of the natural born branches, or you become grafted into that tree of life, which is Christ and Him crucified for the remission of the sins. His blood is for the remission of the sins of the world. In His resurrection, we have life. That's how He came, and He breathed on the apostles after He came back from showing Father His body, that He completely has a new creation, that His body is the new creation and perfect. He came back and breathed new life into the apostles, and then He went back up to heaven to sit at the right hand of God, our Father and our Father. And He sent the Spirit of truth at Pentecost. That Spirit of truth was like fire. It's the truth. And the enemy gets burned up whenever the truth comes. They don't like it. That's why they got persecuted. That's why they got murdered. That's why Jesus got killed. It's because He had the Spirit of truth. Anyways, so that is what's happening at the very end. It says that Jesus comes and He battles them with His mouth, with the two-edged sword, with the fire that comes out of His mouth, which is truth. We're saved by Christ and Christ crucified by faith on Him. The fire is for the 144,000 remnant, not for people coming from man's perspective. They have no right to use the word of God because they're using it falsely. They're using it in unrighteousness. Many of them are not true believers. Only those who have that spirit of truth understand and are part of the 144,000. God bless you guys.